everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. Today's video is going to be the last update before the finale of my Panda palette for 2025. In the beginning of the year I started panning two of these smaller Huda Beauty 9-pan palettes, but I had decluttered quite a few shades from both of them before starting, so pretty early during the project I decided that I don't want to continue panning this for more than 6 months, so I decided that I'm going to do my best with them and try to hit as many pan as I can and try to finish as many shades as I can until the midway through the year and then get rid of these palettes. So yeah, it's one last month left. In fact, I'm kinda starting to feel a little bit burnt out with these. Maybe for the last month of the project I will try to take the approach of only creating looks that I really want to and that make me happy, and to not focus on the progress as much anymore. And overall I do feel that I maybe need a little break from active eyeshadow panning. And anyways, my eyeshadow collection is so small that it almost feels like it doesn't make sense for me to do that much of project panning, because it's so small that even if I use whatever I feel like, it is pretty easy for me to get use out of everything, so yeah. But anyways, let's get into the update. And the last couple of months my focus has more been the Toffee brown obsessions, so let's start with this one. Let me show what the palette looked like a month ago. And this is what the palette is looking like right now. So yeah, as you can see, one more shade gone. So yes, from this palette I was able to finish the light gold. It was actually my goal to finish it already in April, and I probably could have done it. But in April I was so focused on finishing a pink nude lipstick, and on my complexion pairing a pink nude with a gold just doesn't work. I know it works on some skin tones really well and some like hair and eye combos, like blonde hair, blue eyes. I do think that can look awesome, but on me it just looks a little bit off. So I decided to focus on the pink nude lipstick and I wore it with a completely different eye look in April. But after I had finished that lipstick I started focusing on this in April, and I was able to finish quite a bit of it compared to what was left in it in the end of March. But now in May my goal was to really finish this shade, and I was able to do it. It took me maybe a little bit over a week, 2 weeks, something there. After finishing this shade I have moved my focus to the Gold Obsessions palette, but today I am wearing this light copper on the top row. I will say it's not my favorite shade necessarily, and it was my goal to finish this shade during this project, and I do think based on how much product there is that I probably could do it, but I think it would take quite a bit of days when I wouldn't be happy with my makeup looks, because this one is for me nowadays a little bit too dark and bold shade to be wearing on my everyday basis, and I just don't feel like doing it. So maybe I will still wear it for a couple of more times, but honestly right now I feel that I don't want to go for finishing it. I'm happy about the progress anyways, and I know while finishing this shade would be doable, it would be kinda like hate panning, and I just don't want to do it. Like today I don't hate the look that I'm wearing. I have paired this kinda like bronzy eyeshadow with a more pinky rosy lipstick, but it's just not my favorite eyeshadow. I do prefer an eyeshadow look where the lid shade is a little bit lighter, or at least a little bit more neutral, because this is so warm and burned. So this one just feels a little bit off. So yes, I want to make still a little bit of progress with this, but I don't necessarily want to finish it. What comes to the darker gold eyeshadow, that one also is not my favorite, so we will see if I still use it. But yeah, I will try to get some more use out of this palette, but yeah, I do think the most progress with this one we have seen already. Then let's move on to the Gold Obsessions eyeshadow palette. Again, let me show you what the palette looked like a month ago. And this is what the palette looks like right now. So as you can see, we have hit pan on the last shade of this palette, which is the light matte peach. So yes, I'm really happy to have now hit pan on this shade. It was the last shade out of both of these palettes that I hadn't hit pan on. Well, of course, in the shades that I had decluttered before starting the project, there were quite a few shades that I didn't hit pan. But from the shades that were in these palettes when I started in the beginning of the year, this is the last one that I hit pan on. So yeah, it's a nice pan. I don't think I can quite finish this one in June though. It's kind of like the same thing than with the coppery shade that I'm wearing today. Maybe I could finish it if I really focused on it, but I don't really like it so much that I would necessarily want to go for finishing it. But this one I do think on my everyday basis is a little bit easier shade for me to use. So I do see myself still getting some wear out of this shade. Also in May I have been able to expand the pan on this a little bit darker, kind of like rosy beige shade. But yeah, this is not a shade that I really care to finish even. But yeah, that is where I am with these palettes right now. I don't know, maybe you can see it from me or sense it from me that I'm starting to be a little bit burnt out. I really do not care to set any too difficult goals for myself for the end of this project because I'm starting to be burnt out. I don't really love the shades that are left here. My makeup style has changed quite a bit, and you know, when I was still doing really great with eyeshadow panning, when I thought about the makeup looks that I wanted to create, for example, I always thought first what eyeshadow I need to use so that I can make progress, and I created looks that were maybe a little bit heavier what I wanted to. I felt that I'm wearing too much eyeshadow, like I wanted to go for more fresh light eyeshadow looks, but then I just wore kind of like heavy looks, and it was progress first and enjoying the look second sort of thing. And I'm really starting to be over from that kind of thinking. And with eyeshadow I have just realized that I'm such a basic eyeshadow girl. I only like really neutral eyeshadows and I don't like looks that are too dark, and yeah, all of this shows in my eyeshadow padding projects. I'm not able to make as good progress anymore, but also I feel I don't enjoy eyeshadow padding quite as much anymore. It's super fun to watch from others, but I feel for me, like today's when I would do really active eyeshadow padding, those days are starting to be over. And then my eyeshadow collection is also so small that it doesn't really make sense for me to rotate through my collection actively because I don't have that many palettes, so there's no really point with that either. I have an idea of a project, kind of like a project that I will probably start after this palette project with these two palettes, but I still need to think about it a little bit. But what I'm thinking about doing is probably just to do in every 3 months an update about the eyeshadow usage of my collection, to take a look if I have hit any pan or if not, and maybe share with you the favorite looks that I have been doing during that 3 months. Because yeah, I do want with my makeup in future maybe the focus be more on what kind of looks I like to wear, where I feel beautiful, what kind of mood I am on. So for example, what is seasonally appropriate, what is the colors that I enjoy this season. Yeah, just that kind of thing. Not so much focused on progress, but just enjoying the makeup. In general, I do think that's kind of like maybe the direction of my channel in future. Let me know if you have any thoughts about this one. I know it, like if I quit eyeshadow padding, I know it will be disappointing to some of my subscribers and I understand that, but at the same time I need to do what feels right for me, and with a really small collection and with my makeup preferences having changed so much, it just doesn't make sense to do something like palette anymore. But yeah, I think this video has now been a little bit rambly and ranty and all of that, so it's going to be the one last month with these palettes. We'll see where they are next month, and then I will give you a slideshow of these 6 months and how the progress has been. But that's everything for today. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you in my next one. Bye bye!